What up, guys? Your boy Quake, and some new information has come out about this Pusha T versus Drake beef. There has been a lot of speculation as to how Pusha T knew that Drake had a child and knew that Drake had a child with a porn star. And of course, I'm talking about the diss track, The Story of Adidon, where Pusha T goes in on Drake about his child and him not revealing him to the world and him having sex with a porn star, and he went in on his producer, his parents, all that. And then when Drake dropped his album Scorpion, there was a track called March 14th, and a lot of people expected that track to be a response to Pusha T, but ultimately it was just Drake embracing that he finally became a father. And what most people thought was that Drake added that track after Pusha T released his diss track. But this new article published by Rolling Stone reveals that March 14th was a track recorded way before Pusha T even dissed Drake. And this article implies that Kanye West had a lot to do with how Pusha T found out that Drake has a kid. Rolling Stone interviewed T-, who was a co-producer on the March 14th track, and he clarifies a lot on how Pusha T found out that Drake has a kid. They also interview Malik Yusuf, who is a longtime Kanye West collaborator who also worked on the Ye album in Wyoming. So let's dive into this article. It says, chronologically, March 14th seems like a defensive response to the story of Adidon. Damage control, even if Drake did it on his own terms. However, according to interviews with several people involved in the making of March 14th, the song may not have been a response to Pusha T's track at all. Quite the opposite. Pusha T may have found out about the contents of an early version of March 14th, which provided him with lyrical ammunition he would later use against Drake. A source close to Drake confirms that March 14th was recorded way before the story of Adidon. Now, this is where T-, who co-produced the March 14th track, talks. He says, I'm assuming Drake called the record March 14th because that's when he did the record. Drake has a history of songs named for the times he recorded them. I never even heard the content of the song until the album dropped. The producer continues, it was something private. It was supposed to be kept secure. The information got out, and I'm assuming that's how Pusha T knew about the child. So T- is saying that the information on this track was supposed to be secure. So clearly Drake must have told people, hey, this is a song that I don't want getting out there until the album drops. So how could anyone have heard this track before the album came out? Well, here's your answer. The article continues and says, the information may have gotten out in Wyoming, where Drake reportedly visited Kanye West. Drake is credited on Ye's album on the track Yikes, and Malik Yusuf, who worked with Kanye in Wyoming, says that I was not there, but I do know that story that Drake played early versions of those songs, and so on and so forth. Skipping through the article, there's a part where Valet talks, and he thinks the song's title offers clues about its path. He says March 14th is the day Drake played Fortnite, and then he's like, I gotta go on a plane to Wyoming in a few. He says that's the day he went to Wyoming to see them. Kanye in his camp, I wonder if they heard it then. Yusuf then chimes in. He says when Kanye called Drake to come out and work, that was a good moment, but there were unresolved issues between him and Pusha that people should have paid attention to. You gotta have your ear on a swivel in this game, in this world, period. But in this game, you gotta know who works with who talks with who, all that. Basically, the rest of the article just talks about how possibly Drake went back in the studio and re-recorded some of his songs, and T- believes that Drake did not do that. Yusuf also talks about how both the albums could have been in jeopardy of being re-recorded because of all the beef that was going on while they were working on their albums. So let's break this down. The first thing, this confirms to me that Kanye West told Pusha T about Drake's child. And a lot of people already assumed that before this article came out. And it's not surprising because Drake and Kanye West have always had some sort of battle ever since 2009 when Drake got into the music industry and blew up with Best I Ever Had. I remember when Kanye and Jay-Z dropped the Watch the Throne album, Drake dropped a verse on DJ Khaled's I'm On One saying the throne is for the taking. And I remember when Kanye was going on his rant on his St. Pablo tour, claiming that he's the original and that people are stealing his stages and the way he's setting them up. And Drake, when he's doing his Summer 16 tour, had a similar stage setup. So Kanye was clearly ranting towards Drake. And there was supposed to be a Kanye and Drake collab album, but that never happened. I believe because of the competition between both of them. I mean, Drake's gone at it with Jay-Z as well. I feel like Kanye's always been threatened by Drake in some sort of way when it comes to the music. So I'm not surprised if Kanye heard the song exclusively, Drake explained it to him, and mind you, in the back of Kanye's head, he probably knew that Pusha T was going to diss Drake on the track Infrared. So he probably knew in the back of his mind this was all going to happen. So when he got this information and when that track dropped, Kanye immediately told Pusha T what to do next, and then that's what birthed the story of Adidon. And if this is true, this is a snake move by Kanye West. But this brings me to my second point, and the point is that Drake is very stupid and naive. And here's why I say that. Why would you go over to Wyoming to help Kanye West, knowing that you have some sort of issue with Kanye West, regardless if it seems like it's good on the surface? Plus, you know you've exchanged bars with Pusha T, who's under Kanye West's label. On top of that, you created the March 14th track and said yourself that the information is very excluded and that nobody can hear about it, but yet you showed it to Kanye West, someone who could easily use that against you. And that's why this really doesn't make sense to me. Either Drake was really in the moment after he recorded the song and just decided, fuck it, I'm going to show it to Kanye West, let me know what he thinks. Or Drake isn't that calculated as we thought. He just got caught up in the moment and didn't even think about the consequences of it. And this all leads up to the alleged Drake diss track that hasn't been released. As we know, Jay Prince was going around promoting his book, doing interviews, and during the interviews, he said that Drake has a diss track in the stories that he's not releasing. He says the track was mainly going at Kanye West, and now it makes sense as to why, because Kanye was the one that was leaking the information. Kanye was the one that knew that Pusha T had a diss track in the chamber on his album. He knew all that, and he still decided to leak the information to Pusha T and fire up this beef between Pusha T and Drake. So will we ever hear that diss track? I don't know. I highly doubt it. But this definitely made things crystal clear to me. It makes sense as to why mainly Drake would go at Kanye West instead of Pusha T. And if there's anything you should learn from this, don't trust anyone, especially people in the music industry, and especially if you're on top of your game. If you're number one, they're going to try to take you down from that spot. So with that being said, let me know what you guys think. I want to know your thoughts on this, so leave a comment below. If you want to support this channel further, you can do so at patreon.com/diverse mentality. For just $1 a month or more, you can help support this channel further. A link is in the description below. Like, comment, share, and definitely subscribe. I do videos like this daily on hip-hop news and much more, so definitely subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at QuakeGW. Like us on Facebook, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.